everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iconic Doll, the series where we talk about iconic dolls throughout the years. Now we're going to be talking about a modern doll in this episode, and this is Stella. Stella came onto the scene in 2017, and she has been a mega hit ever since. She has graced the covers of magazines. She has had her own coffee mug. She's even had her own calendar. And all of these things make Stella iconic. So let's learn more about her. To understand more about Stella, let's talk about the artist behind her. Stella was sculpted by the artist Connie Lowe of Marbled Halls, and Connie has been involved in the doll world for a long time. She started out doing some soft sculpture dolls. She also did some antique doll collecting and selling and costuming antique dolls, and that eventually evolved into she started customizing and costuming BJDs. Now for me, some of the very first BJDs I ever saw in my life were done by Connie, and that was at IDS in 2014, and I was absolutely blown away by the costuming, the painting, everything that she did with her dolls was just incredible. There was one doll that she had there with glasses that was like the doll of the show. You know, every show kind of has this doll that's associated with it. That doll became the face of that show, and every time I think about that show I think of that doll. But Connie started sculpting her own BJDs as well, and Stella came along. We saw the first peak of Stella in December of 2016 when Connie shared some work in process photos, and they were really incredible. You know, Stella already had this really beautiful defined face shape. She had a wonderful profile, and Connie sent her for casting, and we saw our first glimpse of Stella in resin in April of 2017, and she was just beautiful. Now, I saw Stella for the first time in real life at Modern Doll Collectors Convention in 2017. Several of the ladies there had Stella dolls. Now, my Stella is the mini Stella. The original Stella came in a 20-inch size, which Connie wanted to do a larger doll, and for good reason. When you see a large Stella in person, they have a presence. This doll has a presence, and I can't describe it as any other way than that. If you know, you know. If you've seen one in person, you know what I'm talking about. But I saw them there. She had some at the sales table, and Stella was an absolute hit. Everybody was raving about her there at Modern Doll Collectors Convention. Just a gorgeous doll. And Connie costumes the dolls with using antique fabrics and using some contemporary style but some antique style, and these dolls are from the Depression era. So Stella is meant to be a little girl from the Depression era, and she named her after her mom. So that is how Stella got her name, and that is her story, is she's a little girl growing up in the Depression era. Now, Stella was a huge success. She's a runaway success by any definition. You know, she's just amazing. So we got more children in the Depression era series. After Stella, in 2018, we got Ruth. Now, Ruth is a different size than Stella. You can see them now, even though mine are the small size, you can see that Ruth is taller. They maintain the same proportions in the smaller size. So Ruth is taller than Stella, and she came along in 2018. Next, in 2019, we got Mei Lee, and this is the Mei Lee from BJDC, and she was the convention doll that year. I was able to get her. Alice came along also in 2019. I don't have an Alice. She's the only one I'm missing from the collections, but maybe one day. Then in 2020, we got Hazel, and I got this Hazel from Austin BJDC virtual convention. I was able to grab this artist proof, so that was really exciting to be able to get her. And then in 2021, we got Little Pearl, and I got this Little Pearl from MDCC. She's a milk chocolate artist sample, and I just love her face. It's the sweetest. Now, Little Pearl is a little smaller than Stella, so if you look at them side by side, she's a little bit smaller, and Ruth is a little bit taller. So we've got three sizes in the Depression era children's series. This year in 2022, there will be Ginger debuting at Modern Doll Collectors Convention, who is going to be on the Little Pearl body, so she's going to be Little Pearl size. But this line of dolls has just been so successful for so many reasons. First of all, Stella's story resonates with people. A lot of people either have parents or grandparents that grew up during the Great Depression, and so they can kind of resonate with that story. The other thing, one of the things about Stella that's really interesting that I really like about her is that Stella has a very neutral facial expression. If you look at her, she doesn't really convey any, she's a very emotive doll. I was going to say she doesn't convey emotion. She does, but she's got a neutral face, so you can kind of put whatever emotion you want onto her. By contrast, for example, Little Pearl, she's got a little smirk going on. So she has that kind of face, where Stella is, to me, very neutral, and you can kind of put, if you want to think she's happy, she could be happy. If you want to think she's being playful, she could be playful. Ruth, to me, has almost a wistful expression. Mei Lee, to me, has more of a neutral expression as well, but maybe leaning towards a little bit wistful. And then to me, Hazel and Alice, who I don't have again, have more of a happy expression. Hazel may be a little neutral, but trending towards happy. So I really love the expressions on these dolls. I think they're fantastic. They're beautifully sculpted by Connie. Another thing I love about these dolls, and that other people love about them, is the proportions. Look at the hands. She has very big hands, but they're so interesting and unique compared to other dolls that are out in the market. It's just a very cool and unique thing to have dolls with these proportions. One of the first things that struck me about Stella was her profile. The way that her nose is sculpted is just so beautiful. I think it's just so nuanced and it's so pretty, and I love the way the nose is sculpted. I also really love the ears. I think they're incredible. So for me, that's what I really love about Stella, is the sculpt is just fantastic. She's just beautiful. I love all of the dolls that have come out in this series, and I think they're really well done. And obviously, I'm not the only person that feels that way. She has a huge fan base all over the world. That fan base has collectors of all ages and collectors of all backgrounds. There's people that don't collect BJDs that have a Stella, because Connie has that bridge between the antique doll world and the modern doll world, and I think you've got a lot of antique collectors that really love Stella because of what she represents, because of the fashions that are available for her, and because of how you're able to dress her and kind of play with her. And that's another thing about Stella, is there's this entire industry that's blown up around her of designers creating clothing and accessories for these dolls. Now, the best way to learn about some of this stuff, there's two Facebook groups. There's the Connie Lowe Marbled Halls fan group, and there's also the Stella Squad. So in the Connie Lowe Marbled Halls group, you can learn about all of Connie's dolls, and in the Stella Squad, they just talk about the Stella family dolls. And so I will leave links to those in the video description so you can join if you want to learn more about them. But as for me and my history with Stella, I got my first Stella from Connie at L Doll back in 2018. That doll regrettably no longer lives here with me, but I have made up for the sins of my past by getting the other family members, and I am planning to add a 20-inch Stella to my collection as soon as possible. I'm attending Austin BJDC in August this year, and I hope to be able to snag one at her sales table, so keep your fingers crossed for me. But that doll just has a presence, and the first time when I saw her at Modern Doll, I don't know how to describe it. If you know, you know. You've seen the doll. She has a presence about her. And I remember my friend Leah telling me, Allison, this doll just has something. She's just my favorite doll. I love her. She brought her, the first time I met Leah, actually the only time we met in person, she had her big Stella with her. And it is, the doll has a soul. I mean, you can tell that Connie really sculpted this doll with all of the soulful intention and love and care that was put into her, and that really emanates from the dolls when you see them, especially the big Stella size. So I have decided I have to add one to my collection. But there are so many amazing people out there. This, for example, this is made by my friend Eva. who creates fashions for them. And there are so many, again, talented designers out there making clothes for these dolls. And again, the best way to learn is through those Facebook groups. Let's talk about the resin tones that are available for Stella and family. My Stella is the Real Girl resin. Now, Connie had this color developed to be as close to her own skin tone as possible because, after all, Stella is designed after her mom, and so she wanted her to have that kind of, you know, real resemblance to the family. And the Real Girl resin is a really beautiful pinky peachy sort of flesh tone. I think it's a really gorgeous color. There might be some gray undertones. It's really, really beautiful. Connie also has the chocolate skin tone, which I have Ruth and Hazel are in chocolates, and it is a almost, I wouldn't want to say, you can see between these two and they're painted differently, but it's a really beautiful chocolate tone that is really, really gorgeous. Obviously I really like this tone, as I have two dolls in this skin tone and this resin tone. Now she also makes a white resin, and I had a Ruth in white resin, but I kind of traded her in for the chocolate Ruth because I just really like this chocolate resin. So she's got a white resin color, which is just like a pure white resin. We've got cream. Maylee is in cream, and so this is some of the very first Stellas came out in cream. And so as you're looking at older Stellas, you'll see Connie's Stella is also in cream. You'll see some of the cream colored Stellas. Milk chocolate is a newer color, and so that this, you can see it's a little bit different from regular chocolates. We've got milk chocolate is a little bit lighter, and then we've got chocolate. She's also got a pink resin tone, which is, it's really gorgeous. I've seen it in person. It's like a real flesh tone, but it's got just more of a pinky undertone than even the Real Girl resin. It's just a really vibrant, pretty color. She's got an ebony skin tone, which is a pure ebony color. There's not a lot of dolls in that color that have been cast, but she does have that. So there's lots of gorgeous, she's got a tan skin tone, which I don't have a tan doll, and the tan is going to be darker than the Real Girl, but somewhere less than the milk chocolate. So she's got lots of gorgeous skin tones, resin tones that are available for these dolls. So that's something else that makes her really customizable and makes her kind of into the dream doll that a collector wants. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. I have certainly enjoyed making it for you, but I have a little treat at the end of the video for you. Because Connie is she is one of the hardest working artists that's out there. She has been at every doll show that I've been to since 2014, except for the little local shows, but every national show she has been at. And so I have footage from most of those shows of her sales table. And so you can see the Stellas throughout the years, and that is going to be here at the end of the video. I've got some music over it so you guys can enjoy watching and listening to some Depression era music, some of the same music that Stella might have listened to when she was a little girl. So I just feel like it's just such an incredible doll, and there's such a story, there's such a community around her. One of the other things I forgot to mention is that Stella's owners, or Stella's moms and dads, often give Stella a middle name, and that's often the middle name of their grandmothers, and that's one of the trends that happens with Stella. This is Stella Rose. She was given the middle name already for Modern Doll Collectors Convention, but a lot of people will give their Stella the middle name of their grandmother. So for example, if it were mine, it would be Stella Joyce or Stella Lois, or I've seen Stella Joy, Stella Marie. So it's kind of a thing where people will give Stella the middle name of their grandmother, which I think is such a cool way to honor a grandmother, and it's also a cool way to honor Stella and Stella's legacy, because again, I think that's why so many people resonate, or Stella resonates with so many people, is because they have a loved one that grew up in that time period. And that's a totally different breed of person. You know, they've been through different experiences that define their character throughout their lives. And so I just think that's one of the reasons that Stella is such an icon, is because of her backstory and the way that everybody is able to relate to her in some way, and most people are able to kind of associate her with a loved one. You know, like I said, Connie named her after her own mother, and she's just got this story, she's got the look, there's so much out there that you can get for your Stella doll. So there's so much to collect for her. She's a great doll if you want to be a one doll person and you want to have one doll. This is a great doll to have because there is so much to choose from in the way of fashions, accessories, and things like that to go with your doll. So I love the doll. She is iconic. I felt like she deserved her own episode, and I thought this was good timing because I'm planning to add one of the larger dolls to my collection really soon. So it was a good time for me to go and research her and put this all together. So guys, I really hope you enjoy this. I would love to hear your personal story with Stella in the video comments below, and stay tuned if you want to see all that footage over the years from the different doll shows. You'll notice how my camera work definitely improves over time. At the earlier shows, there's not as good a camera work, and also a lot of the earlier shows I was having to, take video around other people at the shows, where at later shows, especially at Modern Doll, I'm able to go in before the sales room actually opens and get some good footage. So you'll see a difference there, but you'll also see a little bit of growth from me. So you'll see the evolution of Stella and the evolution of Allison's videography. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I hope you guys enjoy the sales room footage coming up next. Until next time, bye-bye.
There's a cheerful little earful, gosh, I miss it, something fearful. And this cheerful little earful is the well-known I love you. Stocks can go down, business slow down, but the milk and honey flow down with a cheerful little earful of the well-known I love you. In every play it's a set phrase, what the public get praised, but as a pet phrase, it'll do. Pooparoo it, soft and cue it, make me happy, you can do it, with a cheerful little earful of the well-known I love you. There's a cheerful little earful, gosh, I miss it, something fearful. And this cheerful little earful is the well-known I love you. Stocks can go down, business slow down, but the milk and honey flow down with a cheerful little earful of the well-known I love you.
You wore a new diamond ring, a white stone that made me feel blue. It told me you had broken your vow. Little girl, what now? I felt just like a dog who'd been whipped for something that he didn't do. But to the hand of fate I must bow. Little girl, what now? They say as you do to others, so shall be done to you. But each day I pray your dreams come true. I'm still in love with you. I smile to keep the tears from my eyes. The smile hides what you're going through. My broken heart needs mending, but how? Little girl, what now?
by a jail this morning, and I hear the hard luck brother moan. I'm in here, right where I don't belong. Never done no wrong as I pass by his window. I could hear him moaning his song. I'm sitting on the inside, looking at the outside, waiting for the evening mail. Four walls and a ceiling, Lordy, what a feeling. Just a mean old low-down jail, separating me from everything but the evening mail. I'm like a ship without a sail. I wrote my one-time mama down in Jacksonville, said, sweet mama, I'm in jail. Honey, please don't fail me, hurry up and mail me bail. That's just a year ago, and I'm still on the inside, looking at the outside, waiting for the evening mail.
I had a letter handed to me yesterday from a mama that I met on Mobile Bay. She said, honey, won't you please send me down some bail? They caught me fooling with the evening mail. Had another letter from a man named Stella, saying he was gonna get me when I get out. Said that he was gonna meet me right at the gate. But brother, he don't know how long he's gotta wait. 'Cause I'm sitting on the inside, looking at the outside, waiting for the evening mail. Four walls and a ceiling, Lordy, what a feeling. Just a mean old low-down jail, separating me from everything but the evening mail. I'm like a ship without a sail. I wrote my one-time mama down in Jacksonville, said, sweet mama, I'm in jail. Oh, honey, please don't fail me. Hurry up and mail me bail. That's just a year ago, and I'm still on the inside, looking at the outside, waiting for the evening mail.
Bum 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 bum.
I dreamt that I dwelt in marble halls with vassals and serfs at my side, and of all who assembled within those walls, that I was the hope and the pride. I had riches too great, so bountiful, of a high ancestral name. But I also dreamt, which pleased me most, that you love me still the same, that you love me still the same, that you love me still the same. I dreamt that Lucas sought my hand that night upon bended knees, and with vows no maiden heart could withstand, they fled their faith to me. And I dreamt that one of that noble host came forth my hand to claim. But I also dreamt, which jarred me most, that you love me still the same, that you love me still the same, that you love me still the same.
I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons from Patreon: Lindsay S., Leah W., Doreen Z., Janice H., Mercedes W., Cindy K., Bear Sunflower, Diane B., Kelly L., Cindy L., Susie W., Krista R., Victory Run, Shorna R., Shira Star Hobby, Stephanie W., Jessica S., Ray M., Asia C., and Black Y. Your support helps me continue bringing you great dolly content, and it means so much to me. For information on how you can become a supporter of this channel, please see the link in the video description. Thank you so much for watching.